Hello, my dear students. I hope you all are good. In the last video, we learned Scout Guide, prayer, flag song, and about founder of Scouting. Today, we are going to learn how to start Scout movement in world and in India. So let's start with Scouting for Boys. To test his idea for the new book, Baden Powell ran a 12-day camp in the summer of 1907 on Brownsea Island in Poole Harbour, Dorset. About 20 boys from different social environments went to the camp. The boys were divided into four patrols and called themselves wolves, curlews, bulls, and ravens. Early in 1908, Baden Powell's new book, Scouting for Boys, was ready. Boys all over Britain bought it, gang up in patrols, and called themselves Boy Scouts and began putting into practice the suggestions given in the book. By 1909, there were so many of these scouts that King Edward VII advised Baden-Powell to resign from the army and devote his life to leading them. Scouting quickly spread to other countries of the world. Today, there are 12 million scouts in over 100 countries of the world. But in every country, they have the same aims from Scouting for Boys in 1908 was Baden-Powell's rewrite of his earlier book Aids to Scouting in 1899, with many youth training ideas openly taken from the birch bark role of the woodcraft Indian in 1906, written by M.S. Thompson Seton, who later became the chief scout of the Boy Scouts of America. Aids to Scouting was mostly a written explanation of the military scouting and self-reliance skills lessons Baden-Powell had learned from Frederick Russell Burnham, the British Army Chief of Scouts. But following the siege of Mafeking, his military handbook unexpectedly became popular with many youth groups and educators. In Britain, at Mafeking, Baden-Powell's adjutant had recruited and trained boys aged 12 to 15 as cadets, and during the siege they acted as postmen, messengers, and later to carry the wounded to free men for fighting. Upon his return to England following the Second Boer War, Baden-Powell learned some British schools had been using aids to scouting to teach observation and deduction. In 1906, Satan discussed youth training ideas with Baden-Powell and share with him a copy of the birch bark roll of the woodcraft in. Soon After Baden-Powell decided to revise Aids to Scouting into a book for boys, several friends supported Baden-Powell. Although Aids to Scouting strongly influenced the book, Scouting for Boys presents scouting from the perspective of outdoorsmen and explorers rather than military men, and it adds the scout oath, scout law, honors, and games for youth. The book was revised and an enormous variety of editions were published. Scouting for Boys has been translated into many languages in 1948. Editions of the book were still selling 50,000 copies annually. Only in 1967 was a decline noted by the publisher, and in the last decades of the 20th century, the book came to be seen as a period curiosity even by the Scout movement. Scouting for Boys is claimed to be the fourth best selling book of the 20th century. Our next topic is History of the Scout movement in India. In 1909, the Scout movement was introduced in India by Captain T. H. Baker. At first, the movement was open to Anglo-Indian and European boys only. But in 1916, Dr. Annie Besant, assisted by Dr. G. S. Arundale, started the Indian Boy Scouts Association in South India, and in 1917 Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya and Pandit Hridaynath Kunjru, assisted by Pandit Sher Vajpayee, started the Seva Samiti Scout Association in North India. In 1921, Baden-Powell paid his first visit to India. In 1932, the Indian Boy Scout Association and the Boy Scout Association were amalgamated. In 1950, all the Scout associations in India merged to from the Bharat Scouts and Guides. The Boy Scout movement took a start in the United Kingdom when Lord Baden-Powell, Robert Stephenson Smythe Baden-Powell, organized a scout camp at Brownsea Island on 1907, and the Scouting for Boys was published in 1908. The movement spread quickly in United Kingdom and other countries of the world. Scouting guiding in India before 1950, the first scout troop in India consisting of Indian boys was formed by a Scottish missionary in the central provinces present Madhya Pradesh in 1908. However, the troop was disbanded in 1910. The common confirmed date, however, for the start of scouting in India is 1909, when three troops for British boys were started at Bangalore, Kirki, and Jabalpur. The list of three scout troops increased to nine different Boy Scout organizations in early 1911 in Shimla, Calcutta, present Kolkata, Jabalpur, Allahabad, Bangalore, Pune, Kirki, Saidpur, and Madras, present Chennai. Efforts were made to merge all the Boy Scouts organizations with the help and assistance of Lord Baden-Powell in 1921. These efforts were partly successful and endeavor was again made in 1937. I hope you all are understood our point scout movement in India.